Today's video is brought to you by Card Kingdom. And right now you can get this sweet Scoop Soldier sticker when you order over on cardkingdom.com. Just mention in your order notes that you want a Scoop Soldier sticker when you check out. Hey friends, it's Tomer and welcome back to Budget Commander. Core Set 2021 recently arrived on shelves, and with it came 6 new Shrine cards, one for each monocolor and the 5-color Sanctum of All, which finds and empowers the rest. With these 6 new Shrine cards joining the original 5 Shrines from Kamigawa, we now have 11 Shrines to work with, enough to build a full Commander deck around them. Ever since these cards were revealed, there's been a ton of hype around Shrine Tribal. Not only has it been one of the most requested decks recently, but in my last article I covered Shrine Tribal as one of the 5 decks that you can borrow for free on Magic Online using Card Hoarder's 5-ticket loan program, link in the video description below, and the deck got so popular that I had to repeatedly adjust the list over and over as the demand pushed the price over its 5-ticket limit many times. Clearly, a lot of you folks want me to do a proper budget commander on Shrine Tribal, and I'm happy to oblige, so let's get started. First, let's explain what Shrines are. Shrine is an enchantment subtype, and all the ones that are currently printed are also legendary. All Shrines do something different, but each Shrine grows in power the more Shrines you control. The first 5 Shrines were originally printed in Kamigawa, and M21 brought 6 new Shrine cards, bringing the total to 11. The goal of the deck is simple. Since all Shrine cards get stronger the more Shrines you control, the idea is to jam all 11 Shrine cards in a deck and try to put them on the battlefield as quickly as possible. Shrines do everything you need a deck to do. You ramp with Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest, draw cards with Honden of Seeing Winds, take out threats with Honden of Infinite Rage, and win the game with Sanctum of Stone Fangs. Because of this, Shrines are a wonderful base to build a deck on top of. So the beginning of our deck, regardless of our budget, will start with these 11 Shrines. Despite questionable price spikes on a few of these cards, they are still very budget friendly, costing only $11 at the time of recording this. To play all 11 Shrines, we'll need to pick a 5-color commander. Of the ones available, by far the best option is Sisay Weatherlight Captain. Our deck's goal is to quickly and consistently put all our Shrines onto the battlefield, and Sisay does exactly that, fetching any of our legendary Shrines. As a nice bonus, she's very budget friendly too, under $1 at the time of this recording. So we've got our Shrine base and our Shrine fetching commander. Now we have to decide how we want to fill out the rest of the deck. There are 2 archetypes that Sisay Shrines heavily promotes that we can delve into: Legendary Tribal and Enchantress. For this video, we will be focusing on the Enchantress archetype. All 11 Shrines are enchantments, so it's easy to expand the enchantment theme into a full-blown Enchantress deck. Enchantress has an enormous card pool with tons of amazing enchantment support cards to work with. Generate tokens with Archon of Sun's Grace, draw cards with Eidolon of Blossoms, tutor with Idyllic Tutor, and massacre with Open the Vaults, among many others. While some Enchantress staples can get very expensive, there's more than enough cards to fill out the deck at any budget range. Now that we've established our deck's goal, our commander, and our archetype, let's go over some card choices to fill out the rest of the deck. First and foremost, we need to generate mana to quickly and consistently cast all our spells. Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest is decent by itself, but the moment you add a second Shrine, it becomes amazing, and anything beyond that is absurd. This Shrine generates a ton of mana for the deck and is one of the first ones you should be tutoring up. After that, we've got all the typical generic 5-color mana options like the Mana Rocks, Chromatic Lantern, and Arcane Signet, or green land ramp like Farseek and Sakura Tribelder. However, as an Enchantress deck, we also get extra value from playing Enchantment Ramp that is normally overlooked but gets much more powerful due to deck synergy. Font of Fertility, Trace of Abundance, Fertile Growth are all good cards in their own right, but get even better because they're enchantments in an Enchantress deck, and while definitely not overlooked, the powerhouse Smothering Tithe is just absurd here. There are also creatures that make enchantments cheaper, such as Herald of the Pantheon and Starfield Mystic, which also provide huge discounts to our deck if we cast multiple enchantments per turn. We also have some oddball ramp like Karamaster's Favor to turn any creature into a mana dork, and we also have cantripping enchantment mana fixing options like Abundance, which is fantastic fixing on a budget, and also trigger our enchantment payoff cards. Now that we have mana, we're going to do the most important thing, and that's draw cards. Our two best card draw engines are the Shrines Honden of Seeing Winds and Sanctum of Calm Waters, which aren't that appealing by themselves, but once you control another shrine, they become insane card draw engines. These are the best draw engines in our deck and should be fetched up early in the game. The Enchantress Archetype is also fantastic at drawing cards. In fact, the archetype is named after their card draw engines, the Enchantresses like Mesa Enchantress, Verduran Enchantress, and newcomer Satyr Enchanter and Citizen Champion. There are at least 7 Enchantress type of cards that draw you a card either when you cast an enchantment or when an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control. Between those Enchantress cards and the 2 blue shrines, you're pretty much set in terms of drawing cards in the deck, but if you want even more variety, there's plenty of other enchantment options like Mystic Remora, Rhystic Study, Phyrexian Arena, and so on. Occasionally, we'll need to take a break from drawing cards so we can stop our opponent's plans, which may interfere with our card draw, like when they try to win the game or something very selfish like that. Thankfully, we have shrines that can repeatedly snipe threatening creatures with Honden of Infinite Rage and Sanctum of Shattered Heights, or tap them down with Sanctum of Tranquil Light. Beyond that though, Enchantress has a huge variety of ways to stop anything our opponents are doing. Turn threatening creatures into Elks with Kenris Transformation, or Cowards with Reprobation, or wipe the board of them with Doomwake Giant and Winds of Wrath. Blow up artifacts or enchantments with Aura of Silence, make artifact players miserable with Energy Flux, exile multiple non-land permanents with Grasp of Fate, and ruin graveyard strategies with Agent of Erebos. If our opponents don't deal with our ever-increasing number of enchantments, then they're going to quickly lose. However, even if our opponents manage to wipe our board, we have plenty of ways to bounce right back without skipping a beat. Enchantress has tons of powerful mass recursion spells such as Dance of the Manse, Open the Vaults, and if you can afford it, then Replenish is the best of the best. But we also have other non-enchantment specific options like Eerie Ultimatum as well. Most forms of removal simply isn't a problem for this deck. With access to all 5 colors, our deck has amazing tutoring capabilities that we can take advantage of at any budget. For enchantment-specific tutors, we've got options like Enlightened Tutor, Idyllic Tutor, Plea for Guidance, and Sterling Growth, which doubles as the best form of enchantment protection in our deck as well. For more open-ended tutors, Wargate is one of the best out there, able to get any permanent in our deck. You can even cast it as a ramp spell by paying X equals 0 for fetching a land. There's also black staples like Diabolic Tutor, Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, the good stuff. Bring to Light, which doesn't get enchantments, is still fantastic in this deck because it can grab anything else like Winds of Wrath for a board wipe, Eidolon of Blossoms for card draw, Archon of Sun's Grace for tokens, and Agent of Erebos for graveyard hate. Once we've had our fill of drawing cards, it's time to win the game, which sort of naturally happens without much effort in this deck. First and foremost, we win with our shrines. Sanctum of Stone Fangs and Honden of Infinite Rage can quickly reduce our opponent's life totals, while Honden of Life's Web overwhelms the board, especially once we've got 6 or more shrines to start doubling their triggers with Sanctum of All. But even if our shrine plan doesn't work out, fear not. Ajani's Chosen, Archon of Sun's Grace, and Sigil of the Empty Throne can easily generate a critical mass of tokens, allowing us to win through combat damage. Honestly, half our games will be won off the back of these token generators. They're just so strong in an Enchantress deck. Our deck can win just fine without shrines, so don't worry if a few of them get exiled. Now that we've covered the most important aspects of our deck, let's put all the pieces together to form some sample deck lists. Our $50 list has all the key pieces to make the deck tick. Despite a cheap mana base, we've got so much mana fixing that we have no issue consistently casting all our spells. We've got 5 Enchantresses, 4 crazy card draw engines, which, alongside our 2 blue shrines and a multitude of tutors to find them, gives us access to tons of card draw all the time. We have tons of removal, mass recursion, and all 3 of our amazing token generators to protect us and serve as extra win conditions in the deck. I also splurged for Paragon Paradox Haze, which works really well with our most powerful shrines that have upkeep triggers, including Sanctum of All. The $100 list makes tons of small but notable improvements throughout the deck. We have better card draw with Enchantress's Presence, better Tutors with Idyllic Tutor, better Recursion with Open the Vaults, better removal with Grasp of Fate, and I splurged on premium ramp options like Smothering Tithe. With most of these small improvements already done, the jump from $100 to $200 involves fewer, more expensive cards, most notably improving our land options. Cards like City of Brass and Windswept Heath, though pricey, help speed up our deck. We also picked up non-land upgrades like Sterling Grove, one of the best enchantment protection options that also double as a tutor. And that's it for Budget Shrine Tribal. The deck is really fun and unique, and if you'd like to see it in action, I recently streamed a version of it which you can find in the video description below. If you're looking to make the deck more competitive with a higher budget, then I recommend working in a stacks theme into the deck, which shrines synergize very well with, but that's outside the scope of this video. Let me know what commander or archetype you'd like to see me cover in a future budget commander, and until next time, friends, see ya! Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up with the latest and greatest, click on the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to check out similar videos, click on the links here and here.